I'm Brent Densford. I am one of the faculty members in our business programs at Florida College.
All right. And then the first question I have for you today is, when did you start working for FC, and what was your reason for taking the job?
Yeah, certainly. Well, I started at Florida College in August of 2022, so I'm just starting my third year of our time here at the college. Keenan, the main reason that my wife and I came to Florida College was to be able to help the young people here be able to find a profession, help them be able to differentiate themselves as they go into the workplace, but to do so in a manner that they could shine the light for Christ. And so we were excited about the opportunity to help young people really, go out into the world, make a difference, be the light of the world and salt of the earth, but do so with great skills in whatever profession or aspiration they have. So that's what we were interested in.
That's great. And then, since you are one of the newer professors here, what has it been like coming into the FC culture?
Yeah, it's been wonderful. I'm not an FC alum, so I certainly have known about Florida College for many years, but never was a student here. But coming in and being part of the culture, faculty and staff, and with the students has just been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for us. We've been very blessed to be here. Wonderful experiences getting to know everyone. It's been very, very positive for us. We've enjoyed it tremendously.
Since you are not an alum, has there been any kind of any gap there? Like the alums have something that is weird to miss out on or anything like that?
No, I actually feel like I've got a bit of an advantage because I have just such a fresh perspective. I don't have any expectations or paradigms about the college and about some of the history. I come in with a perspective of kind of where we are now and where we're headed, as opposed to being focused on where we've been. And I think that's given me a perspective that's been beneficial and hopefully able to add some value in helping us move forward.
Yeah. What has been something that has surprised you about your work?
Well, I mean, we knew coming in we were going to be extremely, extremely excited to be with the students, but the relationships we've been able to form with the students, having them into our home, being able to go to worship with them, as well as seeing them in the classroom and just see that full dimension of the student and in the many facets of their life has been really rewarding for my wife and I. We've enjoyed that part of this. This isn't just coming and standing in a classroom to teach. This is really getting involved with people's lives and helping them in many aspects of their young lives to be able to move forward in life. And so we found that to be very rewarding and actually somewhat surprising, because that's not typical of most college environments.
Yeah. And how has your business background influenced the teaching that you do here?
Yeah. Well, so certainly I was 33 years in business. I'm not an academician, so I've drawn upon bringing into the classroom practical experiences and applications that I know really are in the real world that we try to help with our students. Now, I've worked really hard to learn how to do so in a way that hopefully is valuable for the learning journey for the student, but I can couple that learning process, education process, with a lot of really practical applications. And so I hope that in some small way that's valuable for our students, and they can relate to not just reading what they see in a textbook, but also what they're really going to see when they walk into their first job.
And what has it been like with that learning curve over the past couple of years? Like, what are specific things that you've changed year to year on classes you've repeated?
Yeah, well, I'm changing constantly. I'm never satisfied with what we just finished. So every class, I always re-engineer it a bit. I'll either change the textbook or I'll change the approach, because it's a continuous learning. I'll never be to a point where I feel like I've reached a spot where I'm satisfied. And so, it's a constant process, class after class. I mean, I'll go to a class and come out and, consider what went well, what didn't go well, what can I do better, what can I do with the material that might be, more valuable. So I am constantly, maybe to a detriment to some point, continuing to re-engineer and redevelop the curriculum in a way that hopefully will continue to add value as semesters come and go.
And I have one of your classes this semester, and I think Wednesday you have assigned for us just a review, like our opinion on how you've been doing this semester. And I think that's an interesting thing that not most teachers do here. Where did you get that idea from?
Yeah, well, that comes from my business because I very much, when I'm in a classroom, I look at the student as a customer, and the customer is paying and paying a sizable amount of money to come get an education, and I'm serving the student as a customer, and so. To me, it's foolish not to get the customer's feedback. If I'm not serving the customer and I'm not meeting the customer's needs, then I need to be working harder or changing things. And so I always value the feedback I get from the casual conversations that we have. I try to be as open and welcoming as I can for students to, give me feedback and informally, but I always try at least once a semester to have formal feedback by way of an assignment. Not mandatory, but optional for students to give me feedback. And I have found it very, very valuable. Students are very, very open to share. This is working well. These are some things you can do better or some things you could do differently. And I take that very, very, very much to heart. And so the customer always is the most important person in any transaction, and in the classroom, that's the same for the student. So I value that feedback tremendously.
Do you know off the top of your head whether it's usually a more of a negative or more of a positive feedback kind of thing?
Well, it's never negative. Any feedback that's constructive is all positive. But do students give me feedback about things I can do better? Absolutely. And certainly I value that. And sometimes it's as simple as, go a little slower on some slides. Other times it's simple things like post the slides, after class or before class. But then there's also times where there's some very constructive feedback about, ways to deliver the material that might help them better process it, or some different techniques. I tend to lean more on lecturing because that's my comfort zone, and so I get some good feedback from students about, well, it's maybe we could benefit by having some different types of activities in the class from time to time, group discussions, things along those lines, and so I get that kind of feedback, which is very valuable.
What is your favorite thing about what you do here?
Well, it is I know it sounds cliche, but it's the students. I mean, I love every day walking into the classroom. I've shared it before, but I'll share it with you, Keenan. When I walk into the classroom, what I see are young people who are the future. I look at you as evangelist. You're going to be evangelist in whatever you choose to do. Wherever you choose to go, you're going to have a chance to shine your light and help people see Christ. And so I get excited to walk in the classroom and see your faces, because I'm seeing the future people that are going to be making big impacts in their line of business, but more importantly for Christ in the workplace. And I think that's an important aspect of what we need to do as Christians. What we do in our churches are important, but we need to be equally doing that in our places of business as we go about our days and our weeks in the workplace. And so having the combination of teaching godly principles, but also teaching business principles is a really rewarding combination.